scattering of bullet holes is spread across.
Hello again. No, I'm afraid I can't help you with this one, officer.
So you have...
No, I'm sorry.
There's something friendly and familiar in how he says that. A day off. You see, a slogan used to intertwine with the loops a long time ago. Now, only a shadow of peeled letters remains. It says, "Tomorrow is just a whisper away." Above the mural, a collapsed roof, broken windows set in walls that are cracking and will soon also fall, and the coastal breeze rustling and sighing in the remains of the edifice. There's something in the wind. Sometimes the only way to go forward is to fail first.
In there? She could. Or she could be in the identical room over there, or in that boat shack, in that church tower, maybe.
Even though you're sure you succeeded, all is quiet. There is no cold hand brushing against your forehead, no rustle in the reeds. The wind has died down, The ruin in front of you is silent as a tomb. Trying to talk to the wind, the city, whatever you thought would happen, did not. And now you're just standing there with your hands fallen to your side.
How do we? I was really hoping she'd be in the village. Okay. She's probably north of the village, and this place is a peninsula. We already scanned most of the outdoor areas on our wild cryptid hunt, so we have an understanding of the geography, at least. And then there's the church. We've already searched that and can rule it out. I know it doesn't feel like progress, but exclusion is a step too. Anyway, we do it the old-fashioned way, sector by sector. Go over the whole peninsula, ask the locals, enter the places where we can enter first, like we did in the village. Then, if we're desperate, we can look where we can't enter. Bunkers, tomb drainage, this place. I'm sure it won't come to that.
Walk the coast, the old boardwalk, the reeds. You can always come back here and talk to the wind again. Look where it already got you. An adventure awaits. An adventure on the windswept urban coast. Buckle up and raise your collar. This search is going to be wet and cold. Suddenly, there's a sigh, carried on the molecules around you, moving, flowing from high pressure to low pressure, like that of a woman emptying her lungs. She wraps the collapsing stone box in front of you in her breath, flowing through it. In through the collapsed roof, flowing down a concrete staircase to the basement, sweeping away footprints in the dust on the stairs, and then the beach below the boardwalk, its winding tunnels, a whisper away.
She's down there.
Okay, why? So, how do we get in there? The doors were on the collapsed side of this building. They're gone, basically.
Finally, my time to shine.
Perhaps you can climb them. We are not climbing anything. I'm 43 years old, and I plan to live to see 70.
There has to be a way to use brute force. Climbing sounds unsafe. Brute force is safe. Look around and find something to break if the ladder fails. A rusty ladder leads to the rooftop. Some of the rungs are missing.
Yeah, that doesn't look good at all.
The distances between the remaining rungs are rather wide. You'd have to use the mounting brackets. However, they seem corroded and the peeling rust is razor sharp. In addition, the first rung is going to be tough to reach. It's what, 3 meters above the ground, and you're 180? Okay, but still, the roof is collapsing and the wind gets pretty brutal up there. Dismounting from the ladder is going to be hard. Perhaps if you were to not climb the ladder. Instead, what if you were to do something more subtle? Astral projection. Be open-minded about this. Yeah, because falling from that height seems, well, splat. So don't do that. Just, you know.
Teleportation is not a thing. This really has nothing to do with adventure. We are dealing with basic physics here. Oh yes, it could hurt. A lot.
He is restraining himself from using a parental tone with you right now. All you need to do is close your eyes and concentrate. Darkness enfolds you. You can feel the distance between the bench and the first rung of the ladder. All you need to is... Zoot, zap, ow, crinkle! It's like magic. You feel yourself disappear, your atoms fading out of existence.
Oh my god, I can't believe it.
Bam! You find yourself on the roof, having mastered the art of physical displacement.
I just saw you climb the ladder. You just climbed it like a regular person.
No, not like a regular person. Like a phase spider. The wind at the top of the building starts howling loudly, blowing away the lieutenant's voice. Faintly you hear.
Never mind. Find a way to let me in when you get inside. Don't go adventuring with a backup, especially if we think the suspect may be hiding here.
This isn't just glass. These are old computation components. Yes, filament memories. From the time when wires were cast in glass, slides with an inlaid nervous system. The how was a closely guarded secret. Something that was locked in safes in human heads across the river where they were manufactured. As to why, your fingers don't know. Two rusty metal plates that slide apart form a crude door. It's been here under the boardwalk for a while.
What do you mean, who's there? It's me, Kim. Stop playing around and help me get this door open.
The doors seem to be on rails, but they've gotten jammed. You grab a side and put some strength into prying it open. With the help of your partner, the two metal panels slide open with a creak.
Huh. I hope no one dangerous heard that. After you climbed up to the roof, you mean? There's a maintenance entrance under the boardwalk. It's next to a drain pipe, possibly a storm drain. It was easy to miss before.
He's quite proud of himself.
Yes. It's cool to risk your life climbing rickety ladders. Anyway, let's investigate these passages.
A mustachioed and mutton-chopped man, amateurishly depicted, gazes at you with sad eyes. A plaque reads, K. Mazov. There is a spiderweb in the lower left corner of the portrait. Years' worth of dust is shaken off. The full head of hair, matched by an ample moustache and sideburns, look a bit silly. Someone crouches, heels digging into wet sand. Hands sweep across the sand. Grains stick into the frayed skin of the fingertips. An old man sits on a slab of concrete and taps his fingers against the glass of a scope. You shudder.
Yes, I can see that. Looks like some communists were hiding out here. They left a long time ago.
The lieutenant does not seem to share your enthusiasm.
Millions of depictions of Mazov have been produced. They're not all connected. Besides, that looked like some student. The youths always go for this kind of stuff. Half a century? This was probably part of the network of defense posts the communards built against the amphibious landing. I think the purpose of this bunker was to produce propaganda. It would have had radio equipment back then, but that's all been looted. We have found a lot of those lately. I guess what most people think of as history tends to linger in rundown neighborhoods. Martinez being what it is, no one has gone through the trouble of cleaning out the old bunkers.
Good hiding place for someone who's up to no good.
I won't stand in your way, but only after we're through with this case. You mean like Ruby? No, I think we've stumbled on a piece of history.
You feel something, like a swarm of hornets buzzing under your scalp. A strange tingling you can almost smell.
No, what do you mean? Either way, we ought to be careful. There were footprints back there, and I'm pretty sure they were fresh. No, but you are the sensitive one.
It's not a quib. The situation is dangerous. He trusts your gut feeling on this.
Looks like our suspect. If she's in here, we need to plan our next step carefully. Once we detain a credible suspect, who knows what the Union and the Wild Pines will do? We'll set in motion events we have no control over.
You will upset the balance of power in Martinez. The deadlock between the company and the Union will destabilize. This part of town is a fine clockwork puzzle. Disturb its peace and it will start breaking down uncontrollably. Keep calm. Go over the whole situation in detail.
Well, we are not responsible for what we can't predict, are we? I don't think the entire city will be razed to the ground.
If you can't predict it, there's nothing you could have done.
We absolutely cannot skip that appointment. Consider that 100% confirmed. I fear you'll need your gun for this.
His hand rests on his holster. It's not enough. You need a gun in your hand too. Your gun.
Okay, why not? Whatever goes down might also affect her. The Union is watching her closely now.
Not closely enough, you suspect, but still, good idea to visit her once more.
I leave that to your judgment. You already know what I think about cross-pollinating information like this. It's dangerous, but
He just can't be sure. Maybe it will yield something useful.
I still don't think that was a good idea. But yes, our affairs with the Wild Pines are in order, since she isn't in Martinez anymore.
Someone's been a very busy boy. Good on you.
I think I see a cavern. Maybe more cellars? I think we've been careful enough. We still have the element of surprise.
I wouldn't be so sure. You haven't exactly been sneaking.
Or maybe not. Either way, once we go deeper, there will be no turning back.
The Coppernado is back. What do you want? Yeah?
Again? I can't.
Wait, stop. That man, bloated beyond all recognition, was 42? Below the damage, the weeks of decomposition, all the swollen indignity of mortality. He was 42 years old? How old are you? That's where this is going. 45,000 liters of raw alcohol has left its disfigurements. What lies beneath, you wonder? You could ask either one of them.
Huh? How old? 58. You asked. "42. And he was deceased. He had been decomposing for a week." On the bright side, you've been getting a lot of exercise lately.
There's silence. Then a little more. Here it comes. Mercy.
Sure, you're 42. Let's go?
Wait. This requires scientific measurements. To the laboratorium.
Officer, what brings you up here in the rain? Oh.
Did you take the documents?
He's trying to throw her off with the bluntness of the question.
No, of course not. As I said, it would have been too risky for me to use those documents anyway. My employer gave them to me. In truth, I should have destroyed them.
She doesn't seem to be lying. She's genuinely spooked by their disappearance.
They couldn't know where I put it. I'm absolutely sure I was not followed. And I've told no one but you. You mentioned seawater? I was worried I'd been too careless with the latch. The documents were probably just washed away. I really don't know, sir. I certainly don't feel like I've won. I feel like shit, sir. All the time.
She smiles. A bitter little smile. She means it.
Clearly, I haven't. We're having this conversation, aren't we? How well could it have gone, I mean?
The rain falls on her shoulders, tinting her blonde hair light brown. It smells of industrial pollution and brine.
I'm stuck in Martinez just like all of us. I've been up here for... I don't know how long now. I like to call this my rooftop containment facility. The what? Oh, those ones. I don't know, sir. I said I have no idea what to make of them. Honestly, I think they're just trash. I mean, there's no reason for me to think they're somehow connected to her. For my sins, of course. The long-standing sins of a bad, frivolous person. For destroying my first love. For working for bad people. The list goes on and on. Did I? Why do I still feel suspicion hanging over me then? What I managed was to get him killed. I understand that.
The lieutenant looks away, over the railing. He feels uncomfortable with this conversation. He doesn't know what to add.
I don't know what to say. None of this is fortuitous for me.
She nods, slowly, carefully even. There is suddenly a strange glint in her eyes. Not malicious, but dangerous.
Lies.
Yes, we demand she be punished for deceiving us. We demand her anxiety. We demand her fear. She slowly
Officer, what brings...
Yes.
Lies. But I haven't done anything. Anything illegal.
Failure to aid a police investigation. She purposefully misrepresented information crucial to the case. Fucking mind games. Enough. That's right, gang. Stern and merciless now. Stern and merciless as we reel her in. The lieutenant produces a pair of handcuffs.
Please, no.
But there's nowhere to go. A two-story drop to the Plaza Mosaic. If she could, she would have run before. Fragile, unshielded. Her voice is thin and tired.
I think I know who did it. Who shot Lely. I can tell you. I can help you.
She knows something. She's silent for a second, as if looking into herself for certainty. Then, in a hushed voice, she says, "Gearing up for this betrayal is hard for her."
Ruby. She has this thing for me, ever since I met her and the boys downstairs. She's been pretty frank about what she wants.
What she's saying is sex.
And more. I made the mistake of confiding in her. I told her I was on the run. She started protecting me. It became an unhealthy relationship. When I started spending time with Lely, she told me to end it. Said there would be shit if I didn't. It was not a good meeting. We stopped talking after that, but...
Wait. Everyone, just wait. What is this? Derail this whole thing immediately and investigate.
Yes.
I do not. What exactly about your relationship with this person made you think she's romantically interested in you?
She said she's in love with me. She even asked me to run away with her when I told her I'm a fugitive. She started developing notions about our relationship.
And you led her on?
A little. I was flattered, you know? But then I had to let her off, and it was not easy. I came to regret being friendly with her. We maybe kissed, nothing more.
Yes, but what was their relationship outside this unequal power dynamic?
We spent a lot of time together, listening to the radio and such. She had great milieus, and she was good company. I was sorry it had to end.
What was that question about? She's feeding her friend to the wolves here. also has startlingly little to do with arresting her, you suddenly realize.
This is just an assumption.
I know what it sounds like. That's why I didn't want to tell you before. But she knew what had happened when I came downstairs. Somehow, she knew Lely was dead. She wasn't surprised at all. When we came up here, she was calm as a stone, too. She cleaned it all up like she had a plan.
That is a little strange. People don't usually keep things together under stress like that.
She came over one night, drunk, said she'd turn my life into a living hell. I've been threatened before, so I can tell when someone knows how to do it. And she's a pro. She must be, to keep the Hardys in line. I tried severing ties with her after that. I thought it had worked, but...
Some of that fear is still with her. She exhales sharply. What are you talking about? She's afraid you'll arrest her.
You said there was a secret route there, right? She could have come up through there, then taken this shot, right here, where I stand. It was too dark outside. I wouldn't have seen her.
Then slipped back downstairs without anyone noticing. That is possible.
Interesting theory. Did she know that door exists? Had you been out there with her?
Yes, of course. She's been up here many times, jacking private stations off the ring antenna. She used to come here to drink on the roof with me, before it got weird.
Okay, and what? Arrest the liar now. Why? She told us some pretty interesting things there. Don't arrest her. Push her a bit more, but then let her off. That Ruby theory was solid, and she's beautiful. She's stuck here. She's already in prison. Look around. She's only trying to help you. Her. Stop letting her distract you.
Thank you. Thank you. You won't regret it.
Something tells you, you will. She slowly lights another cigarette and steadies her breath, as if in the presence of some tiger. to work!
Hola, Wandering Man.
Your race descent has tempo. This is the night watchman. Take it. It's just there. Who cares? It's not like anyone's gonna need it. Generally speaking, it would be dishonorable to take it. But then, it looks like a military uniform, and wearing that is very honorable. So, a conflict of honor, it's up to you.
I suppose René is not going to be needing it anymore. It's a bit too colorful for my taste, though. Fantastic. Try not to wear it with other similarly colorful clothes, okay?
You're back before the cargo container. Its drawer has not...
mister. I knew you'd be back to talk with old Leo. No trouble at all, mister. No trouble at all. It's like that old saying goes, wisdom withers if not shared. And old Leo is always up for sharing. Mr. Everett doesn't really want me to talk to people about union guys. But who did you want to talk about? Mr. Edgar is Mr. Everett's brother. He looks a bit younger, he does, but a very smart fellow. Very smart fellow indeed. He's away on some union business. Not even in Revershaw, they say. All kinds of places he visits. Him and his brother both do when they're on a vacation. Right now, it's Mr. Everett's turn to look after the union. But last year he spent a whole winter in South Africa. Left with the first autumn rains and didn't come back before the trees were green again.
The trade must have been lucrative for the trip to be so long.
The night guard, he was a peculiar fellow. Headstrong and proud. We didn't really talk all that much. He died recently. Something with his ticker. Oh, Titus is a longshoreman through and through. He was born on a boat, they say. His veins are probably filled with salt water, I tell you. Nice, friendly sort, old Titus is. He's a union man through and through. Good guy. He's very calm, laid back, doesn't do much, talks to Everett sometimes. Honestly, I don't know what he does for us, but it must be important because everybody likes him. Yes, they do. I think that's what he does. He makes everyone feel a little better.
Oil for the wheels. Much needed in stressful times like these.
Whoa, he's really something. He doesn't talk much to me usually, but when he does, I don't really understand most of what he's saying. Actually, I don't think he would like me running my mouth about him like that. Once he said he's a dragon to this mob fellow who came picking a fight with some union men. I think he really believes Jean-Luc was a dragon because he ran right off. Another time he almost killed another guy, but I shouldn't talk about that.
That's precisely what he is. Everard's dragon.
I'd best not. I mean, I could, but I don't think Mr. Everard would like it very much. You better ask him yourself, mister. Sure, mister. What can Leo do?
So, the ship has sailed. Did you see it? I know you did. Tell me, what did it look like as it grew smaller and smaller when that mainsail dropped behind the horizon? Did it look like a germ? Did it look like a piece of bacteria?
His tone is totally different now. The jolly man of the people is gone, and so is the smile. His jaw is clenched, and his quadruple chin is quivering with hatred. This is decades of hatred speaking right now. You get a sinking feeling.
You wanted us to relay all this information to her.
That this is a takeover? That I want a war? God, I hope you also told her about the drug trade. They absolutely hate getting their hands dirty with that. You can kill 1 million people, but if you do something the police doesn't like, well, then you're out of the yacht club. Goodbye, you inhuman fuck. Harry, I can't see into the future. We are all playing by ear on this planet. I had no idea she'd react so strongly. I did. I knew the negotiations would go better with police officers telling her horror stories from inside the harbour. It's scarier this way. Turns out it was a magnificent strategy. I never thought it'd so fundamentally fuck her up. Harry, I bugged her cabin. I bugged her whole boat. I had cameras surveying her boat. Hell, I even wanted to bug that thermal cap, but my boys advised against it.
They must have done it while Joyce was busy questioning the locals.
Not me personally. I had guys recording and processing this information for me. Hell no! They'd fuck it up. They can't do anything right. I mean my real boys. My special task force boys.
Where are these boys?
They sure as hell aren't hanging out in the open with beers in their hands for the cops to question. They're pros, Mr. Kitsuragi. No, Harry. What we have is real. We're working men. This here is real.
In there, under pillows of winter fat, his stress-ridden heart still beats furiously.
Harry, you made a conscious decision to relay that information to her. You could have kept it for yourself. Against you? Oh, Harry, I'd like to think I used it for you. Of course she did. Rich people have the best stories about all the interesting things they've done and seen, all the beautiful places they've been to. It's just sentimentalism. She can afford to be sentimental, and she can afford to lose as well. She's not insane. What did she tell you? No, she's not. She's a sentimental alcoholic. They all are. Never take a drop and you'll be 8 laps ahead of those upper-class winos. Just like old Mr. Clare here. Try it. You'll be a real super detective. See, this is what they want us to do. Suck on that sugar and wine teat until we're insane like they are. You gotta be smarter than that, Harry, or you'll lose. What was always going to happen? We take the harbour and she fucks off to Ozon, uncorks a bottle of wine, calls her partners, and says they need to distance themselves from this nasty business before the big shit spinner splashes everyone. Only difference is the Union doesn't have to lose 2,000 men to machine gun fire. That it will, Harry, that it will. As to the bad taste, please, you're not a sommelier, you're a cop. You knew something, something big, and you wanted to see what happens when you tell someone. So you told her. Anyone who's ever been close to power will tell you, inside information is the sweetest thing in the world. It's better than money, it's better than pussy. Money only makes you special for some salesmen. Pussy only makes you special for yourself. Information makes you special for all mankind. It's the ticket to history. Don't beat yourself up, Harry. What you did was participate in history. When history calls, you have to pick up. You had no choice. None of us ever do. A hard disco cop like you, I knew you weren't one to resist temptation.
You know what, Detective? I am going to leave this out of my report, and I suggest you leave it out of yours, too.
Just look at the three of us. The three careless boyaderos. Good times, good times. Now, we let bygones be bygones because there's work to do. For me and for you. I suppose there was a reason you came here, so let's have it. What can I help my best friend and comrade with today? Let's hear it, Harry. Of course, Harry, of course.
Finally made it, haven't you? People point fingers at you and whisper to each other when you pass by, wondering to themselves, where did that man get such a cool jacket? Did he receive it upon graduating the École Normale Supérieure de Badasserie? Is he dangerous? You are very dangerous, my friend. Dangerous and cool. In fact, no one dares to say a single thing about the jacket. But believe me, they are all very impressed.
Mr. Dubois, every worker for himself, right? Let's hear it, Harry.
As you look at the folder, Everard covers it with his hand and pets it. He's hiding it from you because it's not a real RCM folder. It's just another one of those brown folders you saw in the file cabinet.
Okay, Harry, you got me. This is from the Census Bureau, not the RCM. Those Census Bureau people are absolutely corrupt. You should do something about them.
He got the name from the Census Bureau, and everything else from your actions here in Martinez.
Yes, Mr. Kitsuragi from the Census Bureau. Like I said, now I'm actually a very busy man, so is there anything else I can do for you, Harry?
That means he doesn't really know anything about you. A pity. The mystery of you will have to remain a mystery for the time being.
Yes, that's what I said. Try to keep up, okay? Let's move on. What? Did I? Well done then, Harry. I like not knowing about it, and I'm sure you made the right call. I spend the whole day delegating tasks, and it's a great relief to see people taking initiative. I don't even want to know what all of that means. Brew, shady, alcohol, turned off. I'm going to let the world surprise me.
This is the night watchman's. The chair is not as austere as the rest of the booth. A thin grey pillow is attached to the seat, secured to the stiles by black ribbons. Stale air floods through your nostrils. Not a single mote of dust floats inside your lungs, though. The inside of the booth is immaculate. The drawers are empty, save for old timesheets and receipts. One small box, however, does hold some cheap painkillers. They are slightly out of date. Oh boy, where to start? Elevated risk of dementia, mini-strokes, prophet's disease, sudden death, hair death, erectile malfunction, critical flatulence, watery blood, black mucus, uncontrollable weeping, increased sensitivity to La Opera, inoperable joint disorder, total spinal collapse. Don't think about that. Quick, think about something else. The imagined dazzle of light overwhelms any list of potential side effects. Any negative thoughts are drowned out by the fantastic blast of disco.
I'm not here to tell you what to do, Detective.
You take the painkillers. They are yours now. You stand and exit the booth. This is the night watchman's booth. The payphone. The file cabinet stands steady as the drawers slide.
Looking for something.
The tear machine stands in the corner. A sign says, 1 bottle equals 10 cents. Your bottles clunk into the machine, and the money appears with a satisfying jingle. You're a richer man now.
Is this about the question?
To the left of the croissants,
Now it's turning into a kind of a...
The worn and beaten wooden planks of the bench do not look overly comforting.
We can sit on benches after we've solved the murder. Let's go.
Hello again, esteemed.
A small mountain of colorful board game boxes. There are numerous types of games for all. The display rack. This is entirely, completely you. You have found the right books. A twinge at the back of your head makes you flinch. Your eye starts twitching. Your hand reaches toward a book with glossy cover art of the very muscular man from Helmdall in chains, kneeling in front of a staircase leading to a throne. A woman sits on the throne, leering at the man. She's laughing at him, belittling him. Between the throne and the Helmdaller man lies a bonfire, casting shadows on the wall. The shadow of the woman's headdress looks like a pair of devil horns. The title reads, Man from Helmdall and the Devil Woman. The display rack before you is burdened under piles of Man from Helmdall novels.
It is a bestseller for a reason.
The edges of the pages are worn and smudged. A lot of people have read about the Devil Woman's altercations with the Helmdall man. The jacket copy proclaims, Man from Heimdall returns in his most exciting adventure yet. After crashing into a strange jungle, cannibalistic natives abduct his only surviving comrade, noble Tyribald. Before Man from Heimdall can mount a rescue, he is ambushed by a tribe of female warriors and taken to the ancient citadel of Cloud City, where a mysterious and wicked queen rules supreme. Will Man from Heimdall be able to escape his dire situation and find his missing friend? You open the book to a random page. Man from Heimdall, wielding his two Zweihanders, is carving through a sea of savages, his visage fixed in grim determination. His arms, whirling like windmills, are soaked with the blood of his enemies. Mangled corpses litter the battlefield. Good God, this is some retrograde stuff. When was this shit written? You flip to the copyright page. This book was written in 38. Berserker rage burns in his azure-hued eyes as he brings glory and honor to his long-lost Heimdalla tribe. From the village of Heimdall, the ivory giant roars like an ice bear, and the winds of Gatla howl out his name. Man from Heimdall rides on a gilded griffin, his golden mane billowing in the breeze. Both Zweihanders sheathed on his back. He is off to war. Will he conquer his enemies? Will he conquer himself? The steel muscles of Man from Heimdall gleam in the humid jungle air. Yet the man does not sweat. In meditation, his soul drifts in the frigid northlands he calls home. A passage reads, "The man from Heimdall looks up, his eyes blue as the mountain lakes of his homeland. He rarely speaks, but now his voice booms in the darkened throne room. Do not try to sap my masculine essence, wicked temptress. Son of Heimdall will never succumb to your seductive wiles. Thine spells are no match for purity and strength of will. Brothers of Heimdall, stand above the vices of flesh, for it is weak and corruptible, yet mine is forged in gore and strife." Queen Lydiana just laughs, a sultry and salacious sound, then says, "I have grand plans for you, Man from Heimdall." She gestures her diabolical hand toward an array of potions and unguents. "First, you shall please me. Then lead my armies against the vicious cannibals. Not a muscle moves in the face of the Man from Heimdall. Yet inside, there is turmoil. This goes against all he holds sacrosanct." In the final pages, Man from Heimdall mounts Gallavarin, his mighty griffin, and turns his gaze to the horizon. Queen Lydiana is dead, but an army of cannibals is storming the gates, and still there's no word of trusty Tyribald. To find out what happens next, you'll have to pick up Man from Heimdall and the Three-Eyed Skull, available in fine bookstores everywhere. Spring 39. You open the book to a random page. Man from Heimdall, wielding his two Zweihanders, is carving through a sea of savages, his visage fixed in grim determination. His arms, whirling like windmills, are soaked with the blood of his enemies. Mangled corpses litter the battlefield. Good God, this is some retrograde stuff. You flip to the copyright page. This book was written in 38. Berserker rage burns in his azure-hued eyes as he brings glory and honor to his long-lost Heimdalla tribe. From the village of Heimdall, the ivory giant roars like an ice bear, and the winds of Gatla howl out his name. Man from Heimdall rides on a gilded griffin, his golden mane billowing in the breeze. Both Zweihanders sheathed on his back. He is off to war. Will he conquer his enemies? Will he conquer himself? The steel muscles of Man from Heimdall gleam in the humid jungle air. Yet the man does not sweat. In meditation, his soul drifts in the frigid northlands he calls home. A passage reads, "The man from Heimdall looks up, his eyes blue as the mountain lakes of his homeland. He rarely speaks, but now his voice booms in the darkened throne room. Do not try to sap my masculine essence. Thine spells are no match for purity and strength of will. Brothers of Heimdall, stand above the vices of flesh, for it is weak and corruptible, yet mine is forged in gore and strife. I have grand plans for you, man from Heimdall." She gestures her diabolical hand toward an array of potions. What do you even know about literature? Have you ever read a book in your life? This is not just another book. It's Man from Heimdall, and it's done with you. You open the book, his arms, good God, this is... You flip to the copyright page. Berserker rage burns. Man from Heimdall, the steel muscles of... A passage reads, "Thine spells, I have grand plans for..." In the final page, to find out what happens next, you'll have to pick up Man from Heimdall. You open his arm, good God, you flip to Berserker, Man from the steel a passage, "Thine spells are... I have grand plans..." In the final, to find out what happened, the jacket copy, he is ambushed by a tribe of female warriors and taken to the ancient. You open his arms, good God, you flip to the Berserker, Man from Heimdall, the steel muscle. A passage reads, "The man from Heimdall looks up. Thine spell, I have grand plans for you." The edges of the page.
Put your hands where I can see them.
Show me your hands. This is the pace. Show me your hands. Right now! Show me your hands! Right now!
Scavenged, battery-powered police lights protrude from her back. The flickering light show reveals a gun in her shaking hand. Her hand is trembling from some sort of neurodegenerative disease.
Madame, please drop the firearm immediately.
You shouldn't be here. Something's very wrong with her. She's completely out of control.
Failure to comply. Suspect is displaying aggression. Officer, under duress! Officer, under duress!
Her eyes bulge with terror. Veins protrude on her forehead.
I am the police. Don't move. Don't move. Hands on your head. Suspect is armed and dangerous. Lateral vascular neck restraint. Carotid sleeper. Carotid sleeper. Critically reducing blood from passing through the neck of the suspect.
Be careful, detective. Don't do anything that might set her off.
The situation looks bad. Calm yourself. Steady your breathing.
We can't leave. A delirious civilian is pointing a firearm at us. Your firearm. You need to solve this.
It's a goddamn police shitbag. Cut the pavement. You're under arrest.
As she waves her hands, you notice familiar-looking ampoules and packets sticking out of the mountain of police gear on her back. Medicine? Or drugs? Magnesium, Duramine, maybe even speed. My God, she has speed on her. What else?
Confiscated contraband. Restricted access. 2 kilos missing. Eyewitness report compromised.
I don't think she's on drugs. Being off drugs might actually be the problem here.
Officer in need of assistance. Suspect alert. Get on the ground.
Ma'am, please. We want to help you, but you need to lower that weapon.
Disturbance reported. Authorized deadly force. Sector, take the shot. Big red key. Big red key.
She's frantic, confused, teetering under all that gear. There's an opening if you just move fast enough. If not, the lieutenant's got her in his sights. Host almighty, don't count on that. You saw the Binoclad can't shoot for shit.
Suicide by cop. Split-second decision. Eat lead, scumbag.
In peripheral vision, the lieutenant releases the half-squeezed trigger.
God, I almost blew her head off.
What is this? This isn't police issue. Police weapons have bullets. This isn't real. Police guns always have bullets. What is this? Why did you sell me this?
Grab the gun, right now. This might be your only chance.
No one ever cares anymore. Why would they treat me like this?
Don't worry. We need to figure out what to do with her now.
Nobody's ever around. Nobody ever comes to visit me.
She's in a stupor. I've seen this before. God knows for how long. Could be days when they get like this. Honestly, I don't know. Dementia, probably. Dementia and Channel 8, and loneliness. There's a bit more to this than that. But right now, we need to decide what to do with her.
Her scratched skin is warm to the touch, but the person inside doesn't even know you're there.
I don't think there's any need for that. In her current state, and without the gun, she isn't really a threat to anyone. We could let Titus know. This is a perfect problem for the local peacekeepers to handle. They might even know her family. Then we can ask him once we get back to the whirling. But we have to hurry, because it's late and they might have already gone home. But I think we are done here for now. Let's head out. This is done.
Please, leave the radio on.
She stands motionless, just a heap of clothes and fleshes now. Maybe if you search her once more. The woman stands slumped. She looks catatonic under her mountain of RCM paraphernalia. Is one of those things a police cap? There were narcotics in there too. You're thinking of taking them? Do. She doesn't even flinch as you reach out and disentangle the familiar-looking lieutenant's cap from her mountain of RCM paraphernalia.
Oh, is that yours?
The lieutenant nods. You take the vial of Pyrrolidon and the bottle of speed as evidence, obviously.
You're taking those, are you?
Listen to him, for once.
Sure. I guess that's fine.
The old woman doesn't react to your touch.
The Copper-nado is back. What do you want? What's that, Copper? You want us to help little old ladies now?
You're local law enforcement, aren't you? Helping troubled civilians should fall under your jurisdiction.
Yeah. We'll send someone out. Who is? Wait. It's the pigs, isn't it? God. Poor lady. Don't worry. We'll handle this. I think she got some family in Kuron or something. Bastards left her alone when she got sick. We've been getting complaints.
Hey, wasn't Everott's B team looking for her the other day? They said something about her, I don't know, finding something?
Yeah, I think you're right, Gene. She have something of yours, Pig.
Whatever you do, do not admit to these punks you lost your gun. You will suffer if you do.
No? Well, whatever then, copper.
No. They totally said what it was. What was it? Anyone remember?
I don't remember. I was fucking drunk.
Let me know if you figure it out back there. Now, anything else we can help you with? Was? Like before. Just an old lady. Her kids moved away years ago. Never come to visit. Never took her calls. She gets out every now and then. She did right by lots of us when we were kids. Always was a little off, but still.
Us kids? That must have been ages ago. She was better then. The children kept her together.
Auntie LaPlante, we always called her. Something LaPlante.
Marianne, amigo.
Be anything else you wanted to know? Get wanted to be a cop, you mean? Well, shit. I don't actually know. Anyone know why she started acting like a pig?
No fucking clue. It's gotta be the crazy. Who'd want to be a pig? No, I didn't. Because I'm not fucking stupid, Polizonte.
Yeah, Carl. That's some pretty fucking weird shit to say. The pigs level weird. But whatever gets you through the day. Dunno. She lives by the water. Shit washes up all the time on the beach.
Police paraphernalia doesn't just wash up on the coast, people. It's not like we dump it at night. She bought it, collected it.
No problemo, cop man. We take care of our mentally ill here in Martinez. Ain't that right, boys?
Sure enough, we're the real heroes on these streets.
Behind the dockworkers, a ceiling-height window. The hawthorn branches scrape the glass like bony fingers. There's a yellow ribbon tied to one of the branches. Light yellow, faded with time. A tiny splash of color in the blackness of the thicket. Hanging from it, a bronze key. It's close enough to the latch up there. One can slide it open and just take it. Surely not a coincidence.
Huh?
I don't know about that. I'm comfortable here. Don't think any sliding would really help right now.
Sorry, fucko. Looks like you're gonna have to go bush diving. Good fucking luck with that. The Hawthorne's got a bitch of a bite.
I'm gonna enjoy the sight of you in the bushes out there.
With a loud thud, the old man stands up, pushes the window open, grabs the key from the hawthorn branch, and slides it across the table to you. The key is brass. Workshop spare is etched into its bow. The old man closes the window and sits back down in silence.
Come on, man. We were just having some fun. Where's the harm in...
I'm tired of listening to your shit.
Didn't even know it was there. Boys.
No idea.
Never even seen it. Someone must have hidden it there before this room became our place.
Wild theory, cop man. The worst thing is, I like it. She's been in this box plenty of times. This would give her access to the workshop route.
Boss, I don't want to make excuses for her, but...
Go ahead, Glenn.
Why did she put it back after she took it?
Look at Glenny and his girlfriend.
It's a solid point, Chinks. There's a lot of things off about pinning this on Ruby. Be careful when you find her, cop. Be fair. Give her a chance to defend herself.
It's said without aggression, in good trust.
Don't thank me. I don't give two shits about your key.
There is a silence around this man's words. Unlike Titus, they're afraid of him. That's the type of respect he commands.
It's for the blue door in the kitchen. There was a note there that you missed. It said the workshop key is behind the window. It's this key.
You see a heavy steel door with a prominent dimple lock. It's painted blue. The key fits the dimple lock. It takes a bit of effort to turn it after all these years, but then the lock clicks.
Hey, was there something you needed? Another thing. Great. I love those. Yes? Hey, was there something you needed? Another thing. Great. I love those. Oh, okay. Well, I did hear you make noise back there, so good for you.
He's really holding himself back here. It takes a lot of willpower not to ask. Obviously, he's been...
Okay, what is back there? I knew it. I knew it. Were there any back there? In working order, I mean. No, I was just wondering if you found pinball machines there. Those machines are whirling property. But if it makes you feel any better, I'm not... It wouldn't hurt to get a little life in here. Other than the hellish karaoke machine. That... Yes?
It's getting cold, this late in the night. Time to call it a day.
Good night, officer. We'll meet in front of the shack in the morning.
Aye, the sea's gonna calm down soon, I can feel it. The wind is turning southeast. What's on your mind, officer?
Whoa. In your hand, Pyrrolidon, the double rainbow of synthetic hallucinogens, rare and gritty, a product of the age of atomic power. What a funny little cap. Don't let the scary medical warnings throw you off. It's an inadequate antidote to radiation poisoning, but a potent antidote to boredom. The container is warm to the touch, or is that just the anticipation? You screw the lid open and look. A little slit on the side lets you just slurp it up, like an oyster. Come on, slurp it. You suck a manly dose of the extremely chemical smelling liquid into your mouth. There, it seeps into your tongue. When you swallow, it's already almost all gone. It tastes like many things, all melting into one conflagration in the back of your throat. As you look around, the world slowly exists as it did before. Only now, gentle flames lick at its edges, as though it were a photo burning. Not really. It's just a metaphor. The effect of that otherworldly drop of liquid is slower, more subtle than that of real flames, yet just as warm. Why not? This government-developed substance seems very non-intrusive. You could even operate heavy machinery. Fire machinery. Please don't actually operate any fire machines. Already you can tell you're going to be slurping a lot more pyrrolidon. This stuff is going to give you insight into that little flickering light hidden in all human beings.
In the bottom right corner. Aye, the sea's gonna calm down soon, I can feel it. The wind is turning southeast. What's on your mind, officer?
Oh yes, she does. You need to get your drink on. There is no other way for human beings to procreate. Not after 6,000 years of yeast cultivation-based mating rituals.
Aye, the sea's gonna calm down soon, I can feel it. The wind is turning south.
You think she really needs more of that after a man died at sea? What if I told you it is actually possible to go on a date sober? Before recorded history, men and women were able to do simple, very primitive things together sober. Acknowledge the situation and keep it basic.
I have, and I don't really. Just a walk? I don't know, officer. I would not have taken you for an innocent perambulator. Where would this walk take us, officer? All right, I will walk with you. But you need to understand that nothing is going to happen. We're just walking. Me too. It's been ages since I just had a normal conversation with one of you guys.
She means men.
All right, I'll go put the kids to bed and we'll meet at Land's End in 15 minutes.
She doesn't wait for an answer. You better get ready. The woman gazes steadily at the waves. A sudden gust picks up her dark hair and lets it fall again, tousled, wild. She brushes a few stray locks from her eyes, and only then spots you approaching.
Aye, so here you are. It's late and the sun is going down. It'll be dark soon. If we stay here long enough, we will be joined by a cortege of drunks and teenagers. Know that you're not the first guy to bring a girl to Land's End. This is what the locals call a make-out spot. That is not going to happen here today. I just want to make that clear, Dimples. Drinking men aren't known for keeping their appointments. The world? Those big words men like to throw around as though they had weight. Let's just admire this piece of the world we happen to have in front of us, eh?
As she turns to face the sun, reflected in the waves, and the skyscrapers rising across the bay, you cannot help following her steady gaze. You should say something. Anything. Maybe the tequila sunset thing.
It's a common Revacholian expression. Means drinking yourself to death. Oh, indeed. And what about you? Keeping the name? Well then, Officer Dubois.
The remains of the dying sun are reflected in the waves and the skyscrapers rising across the bay. Your mind clears for a moment as your senses take it all in. Not just the glass skyscrapers, fragile looking in the shimmering air. River Esperance flowing into the bay.
Isn't it strange for this all-powerful thing, the sun, to be so generous towards us? You know, the best time to go out fishing is usually towards sunset, when the water is warmer.
The sun also falls on the Capeside tenements and war-torn ruins. An old sea fortress juts out, seemingly impervious to the sheen cast over everything else, shaking you out of your reverie. The sun does little for the dead, and those hopelessly lost in their own minds. Or people living in desert climates with sparse vegetation and little drinking water.
Oh, that was a bit of pride and a bit of superstition.
There's salt in the air, and the cries of the gulls and the skuas, grit of the sand and the green glint of broken bottles. But still your gaze always returns to the dazzling streaks of light, wherever they may be reflected, their fading opulence.
It's bringing us spring, summer. It's entirely on our side, no matter what we do or who we are, for absolutely no reason. It's unlike no other powerful being, certainly no powerful organization or government. How can that be? I guess we wouldn't really be here if that thing wasn't on our team.
You would be incinerated, or worse. Maybe some general remarks before you say something big. Work your way up to the cool.
Thank you. I'm half Ubi. My mother was from Ubi Sunt. Not a lot of sun there, I hear, though I've never been.
The wind ruffles her hair as she looks at the setting sun.
I always do. I like it. It's like being on another planet, a water planet, with water worries and water joys.
The wind ruffles her hair as she looks at the setting sun.
These aren't real fishhooks, silly. They're earrings shaped to look like fishhooks. A drunk called Rosemary brought them to me. I kept them.
She's right. They're made mostly of plastic. A cheap novelty gift you can buy from a flower shop or a kiosk. The wind ruffles her hair as she looks at the setting sun. Say what? Something interesting? Impossible. She turns her head, and the plastic fishhooks rattle in her ears. Nothing shearworthy takes place in your head. Relax. This was still good.
Thank you. Out there on the other planet, the sea, you start seeing things in a strange light. I'm glad I got to share it. You know, the wind's going to pick up soon, and I have to go, but... Have this. The sun's good, but it doesn't stick things. I've no use for it anymore. No. Men around here are too drunk to pose a threat to me. Doubt it. But thank you for the company.
This is as far as it goes with her. You'd need to put a year between you and your last drink for anything more.
Farewell.
As she walks off, the wind picks up, and the light from the sun seems to fade. The crumbling silhouette of failed electrical R&D towers in the distance, beckoning. Hey, so we've been monitoring you internally, and now we know your Copo type. Yes, guess what's yours? That is only a ludicrous daydream. Guess again. You're the... That is only a ludicrous daydream. Guess again. You're the... No, you're the sorry cop. The cop who's sorriest. Let's make it official then, shall we? Huge lack of enthusiasm going on in here. What? Jealous of the sorry cop? I think they'll be fine. Don't worry. Yes, yes. Impotent rage and lamentation. Let's wrap it up? Of course you are. It's okay. See if you can get something out of this, like info. Or maybe every time you say you're sorry, you get $1 million. That won't happen. It's getting cold. This late in the night. Time to call it a day. The bed is comforting, if a bit run down. Still, you've earned a rest. The place feels almost like home now, quiet and dignified around you. A new life by the seaside. You're incredibly tired. The darkness and warmth come fast. You're falling asleep.
It's easier this time. Drifting off, your head has found a comfortable indent in the pillow. Your legs and your torso feel like lead weights sinking to the bottom of the sea until they're suddenly light.
This respite, you've earned it, brother. Bask in the darkness. Let it swallow you up and swivel you around while you forget everything you've managed to remember. No, this is the one before that. We'll just keep cycling it for you if you don't mind. As long as we can. Spin it like black yarn.
Enjoy it while it lasts.
You're welcome, Harry boy. You earned it.
After centuries of darkness, the alarm rings. But what's this? You actually feel rested. There's no time to cuddle with your pillow, however, or as much as shiver from the cold. The world awaits.
Go.